Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at the NBA Showdown slate on Draftkings for Game 5 of the Finals. We're going to break down this Showdown slate and, pretty much do like we've been doing, go through the player pool from top to bottom, talk about all the playable options, all the guys that are going to see minutes, guys that we should have in our player pool, that we should actually be considering. Obviously I'm not going to talk about the players way down here, in the 1Ks, possibly even some of these 2K guys, just because they're not going to play enough minutes. Really just want to hit on, the players that we should be considering. So we'll start off at the top of the player pool, work our way down, and then, towards the end of the video, we'll look at roster construction as well, talk about different lineup builds, how I want to build out my lineups for this Showdown slate, who I want to play at captain, whether I'm looking to pay up, or if I think there's some cheap captains, I'll be sure to mention them as well. But before we do get started with the video, guys, as always, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you are new here. This possibly will be my last NBA video for the season, depending on if the Lakers win Friday night or if they, if they lose. I think the Lakers win. I think they close out the series in 5. So this is probably going to be our last NBA video for the season. I've really enjoyed this NBA season, man. You guys showed me so much support during, even before COVID. My NBA videos were doing so well, and then once the season resumed, I can't remember when it resumed, like in June or July. You guys showed so much support with the NBA videos. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm really excited for next year. Hopefully we'll have fans back in the arena. Hopefully things will be somewhat back to normal next season. But if this is our last NBA video of the year, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for all the support you showed me. Really have enjoyed this NBA season. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at this slate. We'll start off at the top. We got our 3 stud guys, at the top here: LeBron, AD, and Jimmy Butler. All 3 of these guys have kind of been necessary the last few Showdown slates. Like, all 3 of them have been playing really well. Just the last few games, LeBron 56, 51, 63, 58 DK points. AD not been as consistent, but he still has 50, 55 point potential. Obviously, 49 last game. Did play big minutes. Got 42 minutes after just playing 33 minutes in a game where he was in foul trouble. But Jimmy Butler, he's the guy that's really been playing well. He's actually been kind of outperforming LeBron these last few games. 83 DK points in Game 3. Last game in Game 4, even in their loss, he played 43 minutes, had 56 Draftkings points. Even with Bam Adebayo, back in the lineup, that didn't affect Jimmy Butler too much. He still went out there and crushed. He was just 1 assist shy of a triple-double, almost, triple-doubled again in Game 4. So yeah, these 3 guys I think are going to be the clear focal points of the Showdown slate, like they have been. Lately I've been going LeBron and Jimmy Butler. Those have been my 2 favorite pay-up options. I still have interest in Anthony Davis, but I do prefer LeBron over Davis. That's kind of been the case lately, and I think that's going to stay true today. And then Jimmy Butler, at the beginning of this series, he wasn't someone I was going out of my way to play, but he's just been on another level recently. Obviously, the injuries to Dragic and Bam being somewhat limited, that has definitely helped Jimmy. It's just allowed him to get more usage, to have the ball in his hands more. Whenever Dragic is off the floor, these last few games, we've actually seen them start Jimmy Butler at point guard. They're going to keep doing that. So, I really like Jimmy once again. I like LeBron a lot as well. I think LeBron's probably my favorite pay-up option overall, though. In a closeout game, Game 5, chance to win the series, to win the title, I think LeBron just comes out and plays really well. I expect him to be very aggressive. We obviously know that he is going to play massive minutes. He's going to get close to 40 minutes, maybe even more if it's a close game. He has that triple-double upside that we're looking for. He can contribute in all categories. Just the last 2 games, he's been 2 assists shy of a triple-double. In Game 2, he was 1 rebound and 1 assist shy of a triple-double. In Game 1, he was just 1 assist shy. Like, he's been so close. We're eventually going to have a game where, LeBron goes out there, puts up a triple-double, gives you 60-plus Draftkings points. I think in a closeout game, chance to win the series, I expect LeBron to play very, very well. I do like him a lot on the slate. Hard not to like him, though, just with it being a single-game Showdown slate. LeBron's pretty much, you've had to have LeBron, I'm pretty sure, every game so far. Like, he's been in the winning lineup. I know he's been in the winning lineup a few times at captain, sometimes in the flex, but, like, he's going to be 90% owned. You just kind of have to play him. There's really no way around it. Anthony Davis, I could see getting away from him, especially if you just want to get 2 of these pay-up options in. It's going to be really hard to pay up for all 3 of these guys. I've already tried to build out a few lineups where you pay up for all 3, and it is kind of tough to do. There's just not as much value now because with Bam Adebayo back, that takes away Kelly Olynyk as a value play. who is a guy, we've kind of been building around these last few slates. You can't really go to him. A lot of these other guys down here, they're cheap, but the minutes are just so up in the air. Like Dwight Howard, his minutes are so up in the air right now. Obviously, Kelly Olynyk, last game with Bam back in the lineup, Kelly Olynyk only played 12 minutes. Hard to go to him. Myers Leonard didn't play at all. These guys down here like Solomon Hill, these guys aren't going to play enough. So the value is pretty thin. You're not going to feel too confident about any value plays that you go to. I'm pretty sure, though, last slate, like the winning lineup had like Markieff Morris in it, who only scored like 16 fantasy points. I think it had someone else who only had like 18 fantasy points. So you can still, have a winning GPP lineup with only getting, 15 or 20 from your value plays, depending on how well, the top guys do. And lately, the top guys have kind of been necessary to win. So I'm going to try and build around at least two of these three. Right now, LeBron and Jimmy are my two favorites. I have no problems with AD. I just don't think you're going to be able to get all three in, especially if you pay up at captain. Like if you're playing one of these guys at your captain spot, well, let's just say, you play Jimmy at captain and then you try and get LeBron and AD in there. You only have 3,200 left, which is going to be very hard to build around because, like I said, there's just not much to play under 3K. Kelly Olynyk's hard to trust right now just because his minutes are way down with Bam back. Andre Iguodala, I guess you could play. But, Iguodala, we know his floor is just so low. This guy could legit play 25 minutes and give you 5 fantasy points. So it's going to be hard to build around these top three guys if you are playing one of them at captain. I think you're going to have to choose two. For me, it's LeBron and it's Jimmy Butler. Bam Adebayo, 9,800. Not the cheapest price for Bam. He did play last game, obviously. Came back, started, played 33 minutes, had 25 Draftkings points. He was not very productive, but, he looked healthy, I guess. It wasn't like he was limited too much. He didn't play 45 minutes like Jimmy Butler did, but 33 minutes still solid from Bam. 9,800, though, I just don't think I want to go to him on this slate. I just really like the top guys here. I would try and get up to them if I can. Honestly, I think I'd rather save salary and probably go to Tyler Hero. Like, Tyler Hero's just, his minutes are so secure. In the starting lineup now, he's locked in for almost 40 minutes a night. The last 3 games without Dragic, he's played 43, 36, and 37 minutes in the starting lineup. Those first 2 games, he was, not great, but last game, he did bounce back, had 36 DK points in those 37 minutes, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Just a solid game from Tyler Hero. His price also did come up at 9K. DraftKings did, make the pricing a lot tougher for this Showdown slate. There's just not as many good values. A lot of these mid-range guys got priced up. So it's going to be tough to build out a few lineups, but, we'll talk about how I'm looking to build. I think you're probably going to be playing up for 2 of the top 3 guys and then maybe one of these mid-tier guys, whether that's Hero or I guess if you could go to Bam, and then you're probably going to have to play like 2 cheap values. We'll talk about a few values that I do, feel somewhat confident in. But I do like Hero at 9K, especially since, Dragic is doubtful. We've already gotten that news. He's unlikely to play. I'm just going to assume that he does not play here, so that obviously makes me have interest in Tyler Hero. He does get a boost with Dragic off the floor. Jay Crowder, 7,400. I haven't really been on Jay Crowder recently. Probably not going to be on him again. Like, his price came up, and he just hasn't been doing much. Normally this is a guy I don't really like playing for fantasy anyway, just because he's not the most productive player on a point-per-minute basis. Really doesn't do much besides score and rebound. You're going to need him to knock down like 4 or 5 threes, grab close to 10 rebounds to even be, a somewhat decent play at his price. Sure, he could do that, but, I just don't really like Crowder much at 7,400. He's just kind of in a price range where I just don't really want to go to him. Duncan Robinson's been playing better, but his price has also come up. He's up to 7K now after he was 5K on the last slate. He did shoot the ball well last game. He did have 17 points, 27 DK points. Also chipped in with 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal. We know the kind of player Duncan Robinson is. He's a very low floor player. Like, this is a guy that can just go out there and play, 25 minutes and give you 15 fantasy points. But he has those games where he knocks down 4 or 5 threes. They'll let him play big minutes if he is shooting the ball well. Lately, his minutes have been more secure. So I guess that's one thing that I do like. Between him or Jay Crowder, I think you honestly get more upside from Robinson, so I'd probably rather play Robinson over Crowder. I don't love either guy, though, with their price tags. I just think both those 2 guys are a little bit too expensive for me. Honestly, I would rather play Rondo over them. I know Rondo was disappointing last game, only had 19 DK points in 28 minutes, but his minutes have been there. He's playing close to 30 minutes a night, even though he comes off the bench. He's played at least 25 minutes in every game so far in this series. I wouldn't expect anything to change here. In a game where he only scored 2 points, he shot 1 for 7 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. He still gave you almost 20 fantasy points, and that's the kind of player Rondo is. He's not scoring dependent. He can just contribute in all categories, can give you rebounds, can give you assists, can get a few steals as well. At 6,200, I would much rather play Rondo over Robinson, over Jay Crowder. Maybe that's a little bit of a hot take. I just feel like Rondo, I feel like if there's, out of those 3 guys, the one that can give you like close to 40, it would probably be Rondo. Like we've seen him, do it. He did it in game 2 with 38 DK points in 26 minutes. Like Rondo, I love playing this guy for DFS just because he does so much. He always has the ball in his hands. Like he's just a guy that you love playing in DFS because he's not going to stand in the corner. He's going to demand the ball. He's going to contribute somehow, whether that's, grabbing rebounds. He's going to get assists. He can score at times. I do like Rondo a lot at 6,200. I think, with his price coming down a little bit, he is very appealing to me. But then you got your typical guys here like KCP, Kuzma, Danny Green. KCP has definitely separated himself from these 3 guys, just in my opinion. He's been playing really well just the last few games. He's been getting bigger minutes too. Like they played him 32 minutes in game 4. They played him 32 minutes in game 2. His minutes have been up. His price tag is coming up as well though, which I guess, that's not great, but we can't get too picky on a single game showdown slate. I do like KCP at 5,600, even with the price coming up. Like he's just been much more consistent than Kuzma and Danny Green. Kuzma, like his minutes, they're just not going to be there. I mean, he's going to play 22, maybe 24 minutes at the most. You're going to need him to shoot really well or, just, I don't know, get like 6 or 7 rebounds. He's going to have to like block 3 or 4 shots. Like if he doesn't shoot like incredibly well from the field and just get really hot from the field, 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to be a disappointing play. Like he just doesn't have much upside. I would rather play KCP if I can find the salary. Danny Green, I don't love either. His minutes have been way down. He played a little bit better last game, but he still only got 21 minutes. Like he's not getting the 30 minutes that he was getting just almost every game. Like during the regular season, Danny Green would play like 30 minutes every night. That hasn't been the case so far in the playoffs and just so far in this series, especially the last 2 games. His minutes have started to trend down. He hasn't shot the ball well at all either. Like he's been just shooting the ball very poorly. A little bit better last game, but at 4,400, Danny Green is still playable. I just don't know if I would go to him. Like I think he was actually in the winning lineup last slate, which kind of shows you how these slates go. Like if the top 3 stud options all put up like 55, 60, you're probably going to need them to win. So then it just comes down to which value plays give you, close to 20. Last slate, you got 18 from Danny Green, which I think was good enough. So sure, he could give you 18 to 20 again. But if we're looking for maybe like 25, 30 point upside, I don't know if Danny Green really gives us that. Honestly, I would rather play Kendrick Nunn over Danny Green. I know Kendrick Nunn's been frustrating to roster recently. This dude's burned me so far on these showdown slates, but he's still getting the minutes. Last game without Dragic, he did play 26 minutes off the bench. He shot the ball very poorly, 18% from the field, 33% from 3, just 12 Draftkings points in those 26 minutes. I know he's not going to get much usage playing alongside Jimmy. Jimmy's pretty much playing like the entire game. Jimmy's going to be on the floor almost the entire game. So playing alongside Jimmy and Bam, Bam back in the lineup isn't great for Kendrick Nunn either. Tyler Hero's going to be out there a lot. But Kendrick Nunn is a pretty productive player when he does get minutes, even playing alongside those guys. During the regular season, I think he did average like 0.9 fantasy points per minute. Like he just gives you more upside than a guy like Danny Green. I know lately we haven't seen that from Kendrick Nunn, but I still do like him a good amount at 4K. I think there is upside for him at this price, especially because we know the minutes are going to be there. Like they're going to play Kendrick Nunn pretty solid minutes off the bench, with Dragic out. Dragic doubtful to play. I'm assuming he's going to be out. I do like Kendrick Nunn quite a bit. Once again, I think he's a little bit too cheap at 4K. He's a guy that I do have interest in as a value play. Markieff Morris, though, I do want to talk about. So I did say in the last video that, I was going to fade Markieff Morris. I didn't want to play him coming off a big game. He only really got minutes. He got more minutes than he normally would because of Anthony Davis getting in foul trouble. Well, last game, it wasn't Anthony Davis getting in foul trouble that got Markieff Morris more minutes. It was just that they decided not to play Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard only played like 7 minutes in the first quarter, didn't play at all the rest of the game. They started Markieff Morris in the second half. So I think there is a good possibility that we do see the Lakers change up their starting lineup here. It's possible they go away from Dwight Howard, and maybe we actually see Markieff Morris get the start. If he were to start, I would feel pretty good about his minutes. He did play 30 minutes last game after, getting the start in the second half for Dwight Howard. At 3,600, I do have interest in Markieff Morris, especially if he does start again. Like, this is a guy that's, not very productive on a point-per-minute basis. He's not going to be productive playing alongside LeBron and AD, but they will look to get him shots. He can stay in the corner, can knock down threes. We know LeBron is always looking to find those guys, that are open behind the three-point line. Markieff only shot 2 for 7 from 3 last game. If he shoots a little bit better, he's going to give you like 22, 23 DK points. I think at 3,600, especially if he does, start, which is a good possibility, I actually like Markieff Morris quite a bit as a value play. Even if Dwight Howard starts again, I don't expect Dwight Howard to play much at all, so I still do feel pretty confident in Morris. Would like him more, though, if he does get the start. Alex Caruso, I think he's fine as well. He's going to play 22 to 24 minutes. The production's going to be very inconsistent, but it's hard to find guys this cheap that are going to get, mid-20s minutes. Obviously, a guy like Dwight Howard, not going to play that, so can't really go there. I would rather play Caruso over Howard. I'd rather play Caruso over Kelly Olynyk as well. Like, Kelly Olynyk is a very productive player when he gets minutes, but right now, he's just not going to get the minutes. With Bam Adebayo back, there's a possibility that Kelly Olynyk only plays 10 to 12 minutes again. Last game, he got 12 minutes. Adebayo played like 33 minutes. I think you're going to see a pretty even split between those two guys. I think most likely Bam's going to play 34 to 36 minutes, and Kelly Olynyk's going to get the other, 10 to 12 minutes that Bam isn't out there. Hard to trust Kelly Olynyk if he's only going to play, around 12 minutes, so can't go to him at 3K. Iguodala, I guess we can consider. If there's someone down here that I would play under 3K, obviously I'm not playing any of these guys because they're not going to touch the floor. They're not going to see any minutes. Iguodala, though, he is going to get minutes. He's not a very productive player, though. We've seen that so far. Just the last 3 games, 11, 7, and 6 DraftKings points. Like, on a point-per-minute basis, this guy is not good at all. But the minutes should be there. He played 20 minutes last game, 17 the game before that, 26 the game before that, 25 in game 1. Like, my best guess is you get probably low 20s in minutes from Iguodala at 2,400. If you're really trying to jam in the top 3 guys, LeBron, AD, Butler, like, you're going to have to probably play Iguodala. You can't really play anyone else under him because, these guys just aren't going to get minutes unless somehow the game blows out or something, or unless, like, somebody gets hurt and they were to come in and get minutes off the bench. So I could see playing Iguodala there. That's really the only scenario where I would play him is if I'm trying to jam in the top 3 stud options. Then I could see going to Iguodala. But other than that, I would probably rather get up to, like, Caruso, Markieff, Kendrick Nunn, KCP. I think right now those are, like, my favorite values overall. So I think we covered the player pool, guys. Talked about, all the playable options, all the guys that are going to see minutes that we should have, in our player pool. Now looking at roster construction. Roster construction is pretty important on this Showdown slate because the pricing is much tougher. It's much tighter. It's very hard to make lineups you feel great about. You're going to have to play some guys you don't feel too confident in, but just looking at captain plays, I think for captain, for me, I probably want to try and pay up for either LeBron or Jimmy Butler. Those are the 2 guys I've liked the most at captain the last few slates, and so far that's been, the winning strategy has been Jimmy Butler at captain or LeBron at captain. Since you can save some salary, you could go to Jimmy Butler, but I really, really like LeBron here in a closeout game. Like I said earlier, I expect him to play very well. I expect him to be very aggressive, especially, right out of the gate. I think he's going to be looking to get to the basket, maybe trying to get Bam Adebayo in foul trouble or something, maybe get, like, Jay Crowder or Jimmy in foul trouble. I expect LeBron to be aggressive. I like him a lot as a captain play if you can pay up for him. It's going to be tough. You pay up for LeBron at captain. You only have 62.80 remaining per player. You're probably going to want to get another one of these 2 stud guys. Right now I do prefer Jimmy Butler over AD, especially because you do save $1,000. And I think, with how well Jimmy's been playing, he could easily outscore Anthony Davis. So I like Jimmy a lot. You plug him in, and now you got 51.50 remaining. So you're going to have to go scrolling down. You're going to have to find some value. But we talked about some guys I do like. Kendrick Nunn, although he hasn't been productive lately, he's still getting pretty good minutes with Dragic out. Dragic doubtful here. I expect mid to upper 20s in minutes from Kendrick Nunn. At 4K, I do have a good amount of interest in him as a value play. Talking about Markieff Morris, with him starting the second half in place of Dwight Howard last game, I think there is a good possibility you see him move into the starting lineup here. His price tag did come up, but if we're going to get like 30 minutes again from Markieff Morris, I think he makes a lot of sense as a value play at 3,600. We plug him in, and now we got 6,500 remaining per player for our last 2 spots. So there's a lot of ways we could go here. Obviously, we can't pay up for Anthony Davis. If we pay up for him, we're going to have to play one of these 1K guys, and none of these guys are going to see minutes. So we can't play Davis. We could play Bam. That would leave us, I believe, enough to play. I think we would have to play, we'd have to play either Dwight Howard, Kelly Olynyk, or Iguodala. Like I said earlier, between those three guys, Iguodala's not very productive, but he's going to see way more minutes. He's going to play way more minutes than Howard. He's going to play way more minutes than Kelly Olynyk. So I'd actually go with Iguodala there if you wanted to. But I did say, earlier, I do prefer Hero over Bam Adebayo. I just like Hero more. I think he plays more minutes. Bam coming back from this injury, he's probably not 100% right now. So I think I do prefer to go to Hero there. Going down to Hero gives us enough to maybe get up to Alex Caruso. And I think I would actually feel better about playing Caruso than I would playing Iguodala. So that is a lineup build that you could do right there. That's one I do like quite a bit. You got LeBron at captain. You got Jimmy Butler in there. And then it just comes down to these, values. Can you get like 20 from Kendrick Nunn? Can you get 20 from Morris? Can you get 15 to 20 from Caruso? I think it is a possibility you do get, almost 20 or more from all three of those guys. Your studs are going to come through in the postseason, in the finals. LeBron's going to put up 55, 60 pretty much every game. Jimmy Butler, he's been playing really, really well. He should give you 45 to 50. He's going to play massive minutes. Tyler Hero, I guess, is a bit of a wild card, but, with him playing well last game, I expect he keeps that momentum going here. I do have a good amount of interest in Hero at 9K. And really, it's just we can't pay up for Anthony Davis, in this build. We have to drop down, from Davis. So Hero is the next guy I do prefer if I'm going to, not play Davis at the top there. Like, I think the only way you can pay up for all three of these top guys is if you play Jimmy at captain. If you were to do that, that would leave you $3,200 remaining per player. So you could make that work. You'd have to play Iguodala, obviously. You'd probably have to play, you'd have to play Caruso there, and then you'd have to play Markieff Morris. So that is a lineup build you can do. And I actually like that quite a bit. You got all three studs in there. Your studs, your Jimmy, LeBron, AD, like those guys are going to give you 45, 50 plus, pretty much all three of them. And you're probably going to need at least two of those three guys to, win. If not, you might even see all three of those guys be in the winning lineup. Then it just comes down to, your value plays. Can you get 15 to 20 from Iguodala? Can you get 15 to 20 from Caruso? Can Markieff Morris do something if he starts, which I think he can? If Markieff Morris does start, I do feel really good about him at 3,600. So it comes down to those value plays, man. I think that's what it's going to be like. You're obviously, if LeBron goes for 70 and you have LeBron, like that's not going to be the reason you win. The reason you win is going to be, if the value play that you go to gets you 25, whereas let's say everyone plays, I don't know, let's say the most popular value on the slate is KCP, or let's say it's Danny Green, I don't know, just for example. Say those are the most owned guys and they put up 15 each, but you play, Kendrick Nunn and he gives you 20. Well, that could be really what separates you from the field and what wins you the slate, honestly. Like, that's all it really comes down to. Like, me going on here and telling you to play LeBron, telling you to play AD, telling you to play Jimmy Butler, like that's, I'm not really doing much to help you there. To play those guys. You've had to have those guys to win these last few slates. It just comes down to nailing the value plays. And we touched on the value plays I do like. Kendrick Nunn, Markieff, Caruso, Iguodala if you're trying to jam, and all the three top guys I think is fine to go to. KCP I do like as well, but his price is, coming up. Rondo actually, have a good amount of interest in that mid-range, but I don't see myself really going to that range. If I'm paying up for two of the top three guys, which I'm most likely going to, I'm going to have to play at least two of these guys under 4K, which is, not going to really allow me to get up to Rondo. It's kind of a weird slate. I still like, me personally, I'm going to be paying up for these top two studs. Two of these three top studs, probably LeBron and Jimmy Butler once again, are the two guys I like most. Mid-range is kind of just dead to me. Like Crowder, Robinson, don't really see myself going to. I'm fine with Tyler Hero. I'm fine with Rondo. I like KCP. I don't really like Danny Green. Don't really like Kuzma. I like Kendrick Nunn. I like Markieff Morris. I have interest in both those guys. I think Caruso's fine. I'll be off Dwight Howard. I'll be off Kelly Olynyk. Iguodala, I think, is fine, just as a punt play if you're trying to jam in all three top studs. But once you get past Iguodala, there's really nothing else. So I think we broke it all down, guys. Talked about the player pool, talked about roster construction for this slate. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Like I said at the beginning, this may be our last, NBA video, NBA slate for the season. I have really enjoyed this season, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the videos, throughout the year, even before COVID, after COVID. You guys have just shown so much support on the channel with my NBA videos. So thank you so much for that, guys. very excited for next season. Of course, I will be back next season, putting up NBA videos every single day. Hopefully, we'll have fans back in the stadium. Things will feel a little bit more normal then. But best of luck on this slate, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well before you do get out of here. Click the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload, and you'll never miss out on any of my new videos. Obviously, I'm still uploading NFL content, even though this may be our last NBA video and NBA slate. I'm still going to be pumping out a ton of NFL content rest of the season, so you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed so you never miss out on any of that. But yeah, guys, good luck on the slate. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one, guys. Good luck. Peace.